price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Okay, so this is part 2, and we're going to start where we left off. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys listen to the audio statement of Jonathan Mattingly, who was a sergeant. I think he still is a sergeant. Unfortunately, he shouldn't be a sergeant or free. But Jonathan Mattingly, I'm gonna let you listen to his audio. Now, this took place. He was the one that got shot. So this took place after he had recovered enough, about a week or so after the actual incident. Now, the full clip is like 40 minutes, and then Kenneth Walker is like an hour and a half, so I'm not gonna, do that, show the whole thing. I'm just gonna cut up bits and pieces, but I will link both full audios in the description, so if you want to listen to it, so nobody can say, oh, I'm chopping it up, or I'm trying to twist their words and take their words out of context. You can't say that. There's the proof right there. There you go. So, you have that. But I'll let you listen to him saying that, he banged the first couple times, but they didn't announce themselves. And then he kind of caught himself. I want you guys to pay attention. Listen, he caught himself because he knew he just told the truth.
I knocked on the door, banged on it. We didn't announce the first couple because our intent was not to hit the door. Our intent was to give her plenty of time to come to the door because they said she was probably there alone. So we predetermined to give her six or seven different time periods. Not 6 or 7 times, but 6 or 7 different times, which seems like an eternity when you're up at a door waiting. It probably lasted between 45 seconds and a minute. I knocked on the door, banged on it. We didn't announce the first couple because our intent was not to hit the door. Our intent was to give her plenty of time to come to the door because they said she was probably there alone. So we predetermined to give her six or 7 different time periods. Not 6 or 7 times, but 6 or 7 different times, which seems like an eternity when you're up at a door waiting. It probably lasted between 45 seconds and a minute. As soon as he hit the door, came out and they're yelling, "Police search warrant, police search warrant." I go around the corner. I clear the living room on the right-hand side where you can see the sliding glass door. As I turn the corner, as soon as I cleared the threshold of the front door, I could see down the hallway. Your mind works so quick in this situation, it's unreal. Because as soon as I cleared it, I'm face on about probably 20 feet away, right down the hallway. There's a bedroom door on the right, and there's the male and a female. The male's closest to the door, so he's to my right. And as I turn the doorway, he's in a stretched out position with his hands with a gun. And as soon as I clear, he fires. Boom. And it was almost like at the shooting range where two things flip at the same time, and you got to shoot, no shoot. But I mean, they were like shoulder to shoulder. My mind's going, this ain't right. Something's off here. Because all the doors I've made entry in, I've never seen this. And so I hit this corner, and it goes boom. And as soon as the shot hit, I could feel the heat in my leg. And so I just returned fire. I got 4 rounds off, and it was like simultaneous. It's boom, 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 boom. And then I went back and went down on the side of the door. And then
about the pre-operational briefing.
As far as for us on that one,
yeah,
it was. They said they did not believe she had children or animals, but they weren't sure. Said she should be there alone because they knew where their target was, and I guess they thought that he was her only boyfriend or only acquaintance. The whole time Mike watched the house, there was no change in lights coming on or off. The only thing he saw was the light on the bedroom, the TV.
So he was able to see some type of or some form of illumination in the bedroom.
From the bedroom window.
Do you remember which?
Now, he said they waited outside for about 45 seconds to a minute, which is kind of long time for a police raid, especially if you believe narcotics are involved. You're not supposed to wait outside for a super long period of time because that gives the person time to get rid of the narcotics, flush them down the toilet, or try to get rid of it somehow, get rid of the evidence. So you're not supposed to wait outside for a super long time. He says they knocked, And Kenneth Walker actually did say they knocked. He said they didn't announce themselves, which was the most important part. Not them knocking, them announcing themselves. So he said they waited for 45 to a minute. Okay, but let's continue to listen.
I go around the corner. I clear the living room on the right-hand side where you can see the sliding glass door. As I turn the corner, as soon as I cleared the threshold of the front door, I could see down the hallway. Your mind works so quick in this situation, it's unreal. Because as soon as I cleared it, I'm face on about probably 20 feet away, right down the hallway. There's a bedroom door on the right, and there's the male and a female. The male's closest to the door, so it's to my right. And as I turn the doorway, he's in a stretched out position with his hands with a gun. And as soon as I clear, he fires. Boom. And it was almost like at the shooting range where two things flip at the same time, and you got to shoot, no shoot. But I mean, they were like shoulder to shoulder. My mind's going, this ain't right. You know, something's off here. Because all the doors I've made entry in, I've never seen this.
Okay, so this is a very, very important part right here. He says that he cleared the living room. So after they bust the door down, he goes inside, they check the living room, nobody's there, and then they go through the hallway, and Kenneth Walker and Brianna Taylor are in the bedroom. And when he turns around, Kenneth Walker turns around, enters the doorway of the bedroom. Kenneth Walker shoots him in the bedroom. This is what he's saying. He is saying that he went inside and Kenneth Walker was in the bedroom down the hallway, and that Kenneth Walker shot him while Kenneth Walker was in the bedroom, and that all of the gun shooting and all that stuff took place inside and not outside. But okay, there's video evidence to prove that that's a lie. That's a lie. There's so much evidence to prove that that's a lie. So he's lying about where the shooting took place, but you expect to believe that he's not lying about them announcing themselves, even though that there's proof that they didn't announce themselves. You expect to believe that? Another thing that doesn't make sense. Now, they said they had a no-knock warrant, which they shouldn't have had. There was no reason, even if she was involved in Jamarcus Glover's, drug enterprise interaction thing that he had going on, there was no reason for a no-knock warrant in an apartment like that. There shouldn't have been no no-knock warrant, especially for the fact that they believed that this was a light target, that she didn't have any guns, and that there was no danger. There was no need for a no-knock warrant. So they said that they knocked. Okay, that's cool. But let me ask you, if they had the intention not to execute a no-knock warrant and they had the intention to announce themselves, why did they wait till the middle of the night? Now listen to this clip, because this clip is important too. They said that they waited and they was watching the window, the bedroom window, and they waited until they didn't see any lights going on. They didn't see any lights. They saw the bedroom light, I guess, from the TV, not the bedroom light, the TV light. So they must have been watching a movie, and Kenneth Walker said, okay, they were watching a movie. They were asleep, and the movie was still going on. It's the middle of the night. She had just worked a double shift. She's very tired. She was asleep. So why did they wait till they thought she was asleep? Because he just said that they did. They thought she was alone. They didn't see the lights. They thought she wasn't moving around the house. So they thought she was asleep, or at least in the bed, settled down. They did that. They waited for hours to knock and announce themselves. If they were planning on knocking and announce themselves, why would you wait till a person is asleep?
Watched the house. There was no change in lights coming on or off. The only thing he saw was the light on the bedroom, the TV.
So he was able to see some type of or some form of illumination in the bedroom.
From the bedroom window.
Do you remember what?
Okay, so this is the audio from Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend, the one who shot at the cops, the boyfriend who was there during the time of Breonna Taylor's murder, our brother Kenneth Walker. But let's listen to some of the things he had to say. Now, mind you, this took place the same day of the shooting. This took place the exact same, hours later. So he doesn't have time to come up with some type of lie. He's not even in a state of mind where he can tell a cohesive lie. He can even make up a lie. So everything he's saying, plus the evidence backs up, has to be the truth. But let's listen to what he has to say.
Just because we're scared at this point, like it's loud, boom, it's late night, and we're asking who's at the door. Nobody's saying anything, and then you keep knocking, and then you're not saying anything. So I'm like, what's going on? Like I didn't expect. It scared me when the door like got kicked and stuff. So my only reaction was to do that. I'm trying to protect her. Like she didn't have a gun, so.
Okay, so he hears loud banging, loud knocking, and he's asking, him and Brianna are asking, who is it, who is it? And they're not getting in response. They're just hearing a knock, a knock, a knock, and then bang, the door starts busting open. That's what he said.
So did both of you all step out of the bedroom? Were you in the hallway?
Yes. Like didn't even get all the way down the hallway to the door before it got kicked. She literally got shot right at her doorway in the house. Like we both literally stepped out of her doorway, and then they kicked down the door and I left the shot. Remember how we were next to each other?
Okay.
So then they just start shooting like 10 shots.
Where did you go then?
I just dropped on the ground, like right next to her, but where I dropped on the ground, like there's a room to the left when you come out of her room. So there's a wall, like right here-ish. So when I just dropped on the ground, I like scooted over, but I'm trying to like, I don't know if these shots, where they're going or stuff, you know, I'm scared. I've never even been that close to somebody shooting a gun. But
Now he's saying they left the bedroom and they were in the beginning, at the end of the hallway, and I will show you guys the body cam footage so you guys can kind of have a visual of the apartment, but they're at the end of the hallway and they didn't even make it past into the second room, and you guys will see the second room. They didn't even make it past to the second room, so they just left the bedroom and the door starts busting open. Now, these two things can't be the truth. His story can't be the truth, and Officer Mattingly's story can't be the truth, because to hear Officer Mattingly tell it, he went in the apartment, he cleared the living room, and he made it down the hallway, and he got shot at the bedroom. Kenneth Walker shot him at the bedroom, and the shooting took place inside the house. Listening to Mattingly's story. So Kenneth said that they were in the hallway and the door got bust open and then they started shooting. And Mattingly said he was in the hallway and the shooting started taking place at his bedroom, at the bedroom of Brianna Taylor. Both these things can't be the truth. But let's listen to the evidence that they love to say that, oh, this is all facts, it's all facts. Let's listen to the actual evidence of the case.
unless it's in a controlled environment, such as at the stuff after the door's already been kicked down, after I'm yelling for help, and she's right here on the ground. So I didn't want anybody to be like thinking I'm trying to be, do something. If they come out, I just want her to get help at this point. Like, I don't even care what happened to me at that point. Like, she needed help. And all of that was for no reason.
And if Brianna Taylor was a part now, they're trying to make it seem like Jamarcus Glover was this big drug lord kingpin, like the biggest kingpin of the South. That's what they're trying to make it seem. And Brianna Taylor was one of his many million girlfriend henchmen minions who was just moving their drugs through the post office. Okay, that kind of sounds too made up to be science fiction, actually. But let's say that that's the case. Why would they offer Jamarcus Glover a plea deal to say that Brianna Taylor was involved? Now, Jamarcus Glover is supposed to be the big dog. Jamarcus Glover is supposed to be the one in charge of this whole operation. And Brianna Taylor, who's been dead at this time, because they offered the plea deal in July. Brianna Taylor has been dead for months. And Brianna Taylor, to hear them tell it, was just one of the henchmen. So they're going to offer a plea deal to the big dog, the big fish, to get a little fish. And it's not like they're going to get anything with Brianna Taylor because Brianna Taylor was already dead. So why is it so important that you get Brianna Taylor involved in this thing? So much so to the point where you're going to let Jamarcus go. You're going to let him go. And Brianna Taylor is dead. I'm going to tell you the reason they're doing that. The reason that they're doing that is because they needed something to tie Brianna Taylor into it. Now, he said no. He has enough dignity not to lie on a dead person. He said no, he's not gonna lie on his ex-girlfriend just so he can get out of jail. But that's just further proof of her innocence, because if they had something to tie, they wouldn't have offered him a plea deal. There would have been no reason to offer him a plea deal if they had solid evidence to tie her into it. Plus, even if they didn't, she's dead at this point. So what benefit does it do them that they're going to offer a plea deal? What benefit does it do them to where they need her name tied into his thing so bad? And I'm going to tell you, that's to defend the cops. That was to defend the police officers. So the narrative of they were in the wrong apartment, I'm going to show you guys why that narrative came about, because of this.
How did they even come there?
Yeah, so we're in the early stages and stuff like that, and that's kind of something I want to figure out.
And why did he say to me that there was a misunderstanding?
I don't know. That's some new information for us as well. I mean, that's what we're trying to learn.
The officer who was in the car with me, who brought me here, she heard him say it too, because he told her to roll down my window, and then he was like, then his tone was totally different from everybody else's. He was like, we're gonna get you over here, you need anything, woo. Like, he was being real nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not an idiot. I feel like that they figured out something. They did something wrong.
So he, of course, this being like the worst day he's ever lived in his entire life, he's confused, they're confused, they didn't find anything, so they're giving him mixed signals, and he's like, okay, I guess they were in the wrong apartment, because I know I'm not doing anything, I know they're not doing anything. So from that's where the narrative of they were at the wrong apartment, they shouldn't have been there, which makes sense because he wasn't involved in anything. He has no ties to Jamarcus at all. He has no ties to any drugs or anything like that. So he wouldn't have known anything. Brianna doesn't have any ties to the drug kingpin that they're trying to make Jamarcus out to seem either, but, you know, he wouldn't have lied. Okay, now listen to what Kenneth Walker said the police were saying to him, and there's video evidence of that too, which I will show you guys, but listen to what they're saying that Kenneth was saying to him after he was arrested.
Was promises and threats.
I'm sorry.
My officer told me I was going to jail for the rest of my life. You know which one it was. And they said it was going to let the dog on me, and all types of stuff just happened. I was just in the bed.
Who was that? Do you know? Can you describe him to me?
Don't know. There's a lot going on.
No, I understand. And I'm sorry. I just,
seen so many police.
yeah, I just don't like when people do that. Yeah.
They had the dog right there, right behind me, barking. I'm out there with no shoes on, clearly nothing, walking in water and stuff, backwards. And he's like, I'm gonna let this dog on you, and you're going to jail for the rest of your life. And I'm like, clearly, you can look at my record. I don't even get in trouble, I'm not violent or anything. So.
Was it do you know if it was an officer in uniform?
Yeah, it was definitely an officer in uniform. It was the first one I came in contact with.
Well, they have like body cameras and stuff like that. Okay, and we have ways of doing that, stuff like that, and we'll watch the majority of the body camera.
And he asked me, were you hit by any bullets? I said no. He said that's unfortunate.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
Walk straight back or I will send this dog on you. Walk back to my voice. Walk back or I will send this dog. Walk back to me. Keep on walking. Walk now. Walk. Walk back to me. Watch out, harder. Walk back to me now. Now. Take your hands in the air. Get down on your knees. Watch that, man. Get down on your knees. Don't look back. Don't look back. Put your hands on your head.
So let's go into the body cam footage that happened after the shooting took place. Now they claim that they don't wear official like SWAT uniforms, so they don't have the body cams and stuff, even though in the footage, in the actual body cam thing, you can see them wearing things to where they would have a body cam footage. There's evidence of that. So there were officers there that did have body cams. Now, whether they were on or not, because according to the police department, that no body cam exists at all. None of them were wearing any. But this is body cam after the fact.
You're all casings and they're casing. So,
Oh, that's their gun. Right here.
yeah, I'm right there.
That's theirs.
No, it's ours. It looks like theirs is in there. But I'd back out until they get TIU in here. So,
Especially if they're in a gun's visible.
Okay, so I want you guys to remember something very important here. I want you guys to remember how he said that Mattingly said that he cleared the living room, went down the hallway, and was shot from the bedroom. He was shot in the leg from the bedroom by Kenneth Walker, and that then he started returning fire, and then, everything took place there. But notice where all the shells and the bullets and everything was. They were at the front, outside. They were at the front, outside of the apartment. Which kind of adds up, and it leans more towards Kenneth's story. Because his story is they bust the door down, and shooting started taking place immediately. Now I'm going to show you guys an actual image of the actual shells. Okay, there you go. So all these shells are outside, but Mattingly said that he went inside. He said that he went inside and he got shot from inside of the apartment. And then that's when the fire, that's when everybody started shooting. He shot and all that. But yet all of the shells, all of the evidence adds up to Kenneth's story. That they were shooting from outside and that he was the one inside and he shot once. Mind you too, Hankinson, which is the officer in there, Hankinson is not supposed to be in that apartment at that time. He wasn't supposed to be in there because that's when they're supposed to be gathering the evidence. That's when they're supposed to be doing that. So for him being involved in the actual raid, in the actual warrant, he's not supposed to be there because he has a chance to tamper with evidence, which is why you heard that officer tell him he needs to leave. Okay, so all these things add up to he lied. The officer Mattingly, he lied about what took place during the raid. They lied about drugs being shipped through the post office. They lied about Brianna Taylor being involved. They found absolutely nothing at all in her supposed trap house. She had all the drugs held for Jamarcus, and she was holding his money, and she was super knee-deep involved. Hear Candace tell it. But there was nothing in her apartment, and they were watching her for weeks. They had her dead to rights, but they found absolutely nothing at all. All these things, all these little lies and these little holes that they're telling in the story. They're little, she wasn't an EMT, not mentioning that she was an ER technician. All that stuff to create the narrative only to defend the cops who murdered an innocent woman. My condolences to the family. I'm sorry that she had to go through this. She was only 26 years old. And she was studying to become a nurse. She was on her way to do great things, which is what we need, especially right now in this pandemic. We need as many nurses and people in the medical field as possible. So her life was cut short by those officers. And then white supremacy defended the officers and they let them go. So she didn't get justice, and I'm sorry for that. That bothers me. But now that you guys know, so you guys can share this to your friends, I want this video to kind of reach a lot of people. So if you guys can please maybe leave a comment and show other people, that would help me out. That would help the channel out. But more importantly, that will help send the message out that all of these little lies that are being told to slander her name, all of that is proven lies. All of that is lies. So don't do it for me. You don't have to, subscribe or whatever. But if you guys can please just know, even if you don't reference me, just take this information and just use this information and send this information to people. Say it out your mouth or make another video or something like that. But just know that what happened to her was a horrific crime, and I don't know what to say. Just rest in peace.